Lyra floated above the grand city of Zalith, her translucent wings shimmering in the afternoon sunlight. She could see the sprawling towers of glass and metal stretching endlessly, their sharp spires piercing the sky like silver needles. From up here, the city looked perfect, orderly, impressive, and utterly peaceful. But Lyra knew better. This city had been built by generations of careful planning, advanced technology, and constant vigilance. Today was different, though. Today, representatives from many planets had gathered in Zalith to demonstrate their military prowess. Lyra had been sent by her elders to witness it all and report back. Her wings twitched slightly with irritation. She already knew what she would see: machines, gadgets, weapons of terrifying complexity. Aliens flexed their strength through technology, showing power through force and brilliance. But humans were different. She didn't believe in humans. Stories from her childhood warned her that humans were fragile, weak, and unfit for combat. They could survive on their own, yes, but in the face of war. A human would crumble, she had been told. Her kind, Zalithians, loved elegance, precision, and intelligence in battle. Humans, they said, relied on luck and chaos. Lyra had never seen a human warrior, not even one in the holovids her teachers showed her. And yet, somehow, humans had gained a small presence in galactic diplomacy. The Grand Plaza below was buzzing with activity. Various alien delegates showcased their fleets, their weapons, their soldiers. Machines hummed, emitting a quiet, intimidating energy. One alien, with 4 arms and glittering blue skin, demonstrated a laser array capable of disintegrating a vehicle in seconds. Another, a gelatinous shapeshifter, shifted into multiple forms, each more dangerous than the last. Lyra watched, yawning behind her folded wings. She had seen this before, countless times, and she already knew which ones would impress her elders. Then came the human delegation. They were small, almost laughably small. Lyra barely noticed them at first. Humans did not have the size or presence of most galactic species. They wore simple uniforms, nothing flashy, nothing designed to intimidate. Their weapons were basic, almost primitive. Lyra tried not to scoff aloud, but her curiosity was piqued. Why were they here at all? A tall human with short brown hair stepped forward. He did not raise a weapon, did not attempt to display strength. He simply stood there, calm and confident. Lyra frowned. There was no arrogance, no desperate attempt to prove himself. He simply radiated presence, something she had never associated with humans. The human spoke, and his voice carried across the plaza. It was clear, steady, and commanding, though not loud. "We are here not to show weapons," he said. "We are here to show what humans can do when faced with impossible odds, not through technology, not through machines, but through will, courage, and teamwork." Lyra tilted her head. That sounded strange, almost foolish. But there was a confidence in his eyes that made her pause. Could a human really change a battle without advanced technology? As the demonstration continued, the human moved with precision, his team following his lead. They began with simple drills, coordinated maneuvers that seemed basic, almost trivial compared to the alien demonstrations. Lyra's wings fluttered in boredom. This was exactly what she expected, humans pretending to be strong. Then, unexpectedly, something happened. A small crowd of aliens had gathered to test one of the machines earlier, and an accident caused sparks and a small explosion. Panic spread. Alien soldiers rushed in, but their heavy machines moved slowly, too slowly to contain the fire. Lyra watched, expecting the humans to flee or freeze. Instead, the tall human, the ambassador, stepped forward. He surveyed the scene quickly. His eyes flicked from the damaged machine to the panicked aliens, then to his own team. With a few clear, simple gestures, he directed his humans. They moved with incredible speed, pulling debris, forming barriers, and using simple tools to contain the fire. Lyra's jaw nearly dropped. This was unexpected. The humans worked together seamlessly, anticipating each other's movements as if they were connected by some invisible thread. One human lifted a heavy piece of machinery effortlessly, while Another used a small device to stabilize the damaged structure. Within moments, the fire was contained, and not a single person was harmed. The alien crowd erupted into applause, but Lyra remained silent, her mind racing. Could humans really be competent, efficient, brave? The tall human turned to the audience, not with pride, but with calm confidence. Humans are not the strongest or the fastest, he said. We are not born with claws, wings, or energy weapons, but we adapt, we think, we act. And when we work together, there is no obstacle we cannot face. Lyra's wings twitched again, this time with a mixture of irritation and fascination. She had never heard humans described in this way. She had never seen humans move with such focus and courage. Something inside her shifted, though she refused to admit it. Maybe, just maybe, there was more to humans than she had been told. The rest of the demonstrations continued, but Lyra could not take her eyes off the humans. They did not need advanced machines to impress her. They needed only their minds, their bodies, and their hearts. She watched a human leap over a collapsed support beam to rescue a fallen alien delegate. She saw another human analyze a machine mid-operation and find a flaw that no alien technician had noticed. Every small action, every quick decision, seemed to radiate a sense of strength that Lyra had never seen before. It was not brute force or flashy technology. It was courage, creativity, and unshakable determination. Finally, the human ambassador approached Lyra herself, noticing her skeptical gaze. "You look surprised," he said, with a hint of a smile. Most species underestimate humans at first. Lyra felt a flush of embarrassment. She had been caught staring. I have been told humans are weak," she admitted, her voice hesitant. He shook his head gently. "Weak? Perhaps in appearance. But strength is not always measured in claws or energy blasts. Sometimes it is measured in the ability to face the impossible and keep going." Lyra studied him closely. There was something magnetic about the human. It was not his size, nor his uniform, nor his tools. It was the way he moved, the way he thought, and the way he faced challenges without hesitation. She realized she had never encountered this type of strength before, not in her own species, not in any alien she had studied. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the city in shades of gold and purple, Lyra felt a strange sense of excitement. She had come here expecting boredom, expecting to confirm what she already believed. Instead, she had discovered something entirely new, something she could not yet name. That night, Lyra returned to her quarters, unable to sleep. She replayed the human demonstrations over and over in her mind. She remembered the calm confidence, the teamwork, and the quick thinking. She remembered how the human had faced danger without fear, how he had turned a potential disaster into a triumph. For the first time in her life, Lyra began to doubt the stories she had been told about humans. Perhaps they were more than fragile creatures. Perhaps they were capable of greatness beyond imagination. But deep inside, she also felt a flicker of fear. If humans were truly as capable as she now suspected, what did that mean for the galaxy? What did that mean for her people, who had always considered humans insignificant? She shook her head, trying to push the thoughts away. "It cannot be," she whispered to herself. "Humans are not warriors. It is impossible." And yet, as she drifted into a restless sleep, she knew something profound had shifted. She had seen a human warrior. She had seen courage, ingenuity, and resilience that defied every expectation. And whether she wanted to admit it or not, she had been deeply impressed. Somewhere beyond the city and the stars, humans were waiting, unaware of the skepticism they were beginning to challenge. And Lyra knew, with a mixture of excitement and unease, that her journey with humans had only just begun. The next morning, the city of Zalith seemed calm again. Sunlight reflected off the glass towers, and the streets were busy with aliens preparing for the day. Lyra walked through the central plaza, her mind still filled with images of the human ambassador and his team. She could not shake the feeling that something had changed inside her. For the first time, she felt that humans were not weak or fragile. They might even be extraordinary. But Lyra's thoughts were interrupted by a sudden, sharp vibration under her feet. A low hum filled the city streets, growing louder by the second. Alien citizens froze, looking around nervously. Lyra's wings lifted instinctively as she tried to understand what was happening. Then came the attack. A fleet of unfamiliar ships descended from the sky, sleek and black, moving with deadly precision. They opened fire on the city without warning, sending energy blasts that shattered glass and threw debris into the air. Screams echoed through the streets as aliens scattered, trying to find safety. Lyra's heart raced. She had seen simulations of battles before, but nothing compared to this. The attackers were fast, organized, and ruthless. Alien soldiers scrambled to activate their defense systems, but their machines moved slowly, delayed by the sheer speed of the assault. Panic spread like wildfire. Lyra ducked behind a fallen statue as an energy beam scorched the plaza nearby. Her mind raced. How could anyone stop this? Even the city's strongest soldiers seemed unable to match the enemy's speed and coordination. Then she saw them, the humans. The ambassador and his small team had not fled. They stood calmly at the edge of the plaza, observing the chaos with sharp, focused eyes. Lyra blinked, unable to believe what she was seeing. The humans had no advanced weapons, no giant machines, no shields, only their courage and their minds. The ambassador, Alex, spoke quickly to his team, giving short, clear commands. They moved like one living organism, each human anticipating the other's actions. Lyra watched in awe as Alex leaped over falling debris, pulled a small device from his belt, and used it to redirect the flow of a falling energy beam. One human grabbed a heavy piece of rubble and threw it to block a blast, while another pulled an alien civilian out of harm's way. Every move was precise. Every decision was correct. They were not just surviving, they were controlling the chaos. Lyra's wings twitched nervously. She had never seen humans act like this before. Not in simulations, not in stories, not in the holovids. These humans were warriors. As the attackers advanced, the human team formed a defensive line, using speed, strategy, and clever traps to slow the enemy. They directed aliens to safer zones, instructed soldiers to use their machines more efficiently, and even disabled some of the enemy ships using tools that seemed almost primitive, but worked brilliantly. Lyra could not look away. Her heart pounded in her chest. Every time a human moved, it seemed as though the enemy faltered. The humans did not rely on technology or brute strength. They relied on thinking, adapting, and acting with courage. One moment, Alex noticed a collapsing tower about to fall on a group of civilians. Without hesitation, he sprinted forward, dodging falling debris, and used a support beam to hold the structure long enough for everyone to escape. Lyra gasped. If an alien had tried the same thing, they would have needed complex machines and a dozen soldiers. Yet Alex did it alone, calmly and efficiently. The attacking aliens, though strong, were confused by the humans' unpredictability. They could anticipate machine movements, but humans moved in ways they could not calculate. Lyra realized something profound. Humans were not predictable. They were creative, adaptable, and willing to take risks that no other species would dare. As the battle continued, Lyra saw more humans performing incredible feats. One human carried an injured alien soldier across a battlefield while dodging energy blasts. Another set up makeshift barricades using debris, guiding citizens to safety. Yet another analyzed the enemy's attack patterns and found a weak spot in their formation. Lyra's respect for humans grew with every passing moment. She had doubted them. She had thought them weak. But here they were, not just surviving, but turning the tide of a battle that even the city's elite soldiers struggled to handle. The alien command center was under heavy attack, and panic threatened to overwhelm the defenders. Lyra flew closer to get a better view, her wings carrying her over the chaos. Alex noticed her and called out, his voice clear even over the sounds of battle. "Stay close but stay safe," he said. "We can handle this together." Lyra hesitated for a moment, then nodded. She followed him as he moved with astonishing speed and intelligence. He directed groups of aliens, helped repair damaged energy shields, and found new ways to counter the attackers' advanced weapons. Every action seemed effortless, yet every decision was crucial. For the first time, Lyra felt a sense of awe she had never experienced. Humans were not just capable, they were exceptional. They had something that no technology could replicate: courage, ingenuity, and an unbreakable spirit. The attackers grew frustrated. Their energy blasts became wild and uncoordinated as the humans continued to outmaneuver them. Lyra watched as Alex and his team created traps using the environment, shifting debris to block corridors, setting energy conduits to redirect enemy fire, and even using the attackers' own machines against them. Despite their size and lack of heavy weapons, the humans were a force to be reckoned with. Lyra's disbelief turned into admiration. She had seen legends of human warriors in holovids, but they had always seemed exaggerated. Now she realized the stories had underestimated them. Hours passed, though it felt like minutes. The humans moved tirelessly, never hesitating, never panicking. Lyra felt her doubts fading. These humans were not fragile or weak. They were warriors in their own right, capable of feats that seemed impossible to her species. Finally, the tide of battle began to turn. The attackers, confused and disoriented by the humans' unpredictable actions, started to retreat. Alien soldiers regained their composure, following the strategies that Alex had suggested. The city's defense systems, now efficiently coordinated by both humans and aliens, pushed the enemy back. When the last enemy ship fled into the sky, silence fell over the plaza. Smoke and dust rose from the wreckage, and injured citizens and soldiers began to emerge from hiding. Lyra hovered above the scene, her wings heavy with exhaustion and amazement. She had witnessed something extraordinary. Alex turned to his team, giving quick instructions to ensure everyone was safe. Then he looked up at Lyra and smiled. "The city is secure," he said. "Thanks to everyone's help." Lyra's wings trembled. I don't understand," she said softly. "You did all of this without advanced weapons? Without machines? How is this possible?" Alex's eyes were steady. "Strength is not always in machines or size," he said. "It is in courage, intelligence, and the will to protect others. Humans have learned to use their minds, bodies, and hearts together. That is what makes us strong." Lyra absorbed his words, feeling a mixture of awe and disbelief. She had spent her life believing humans were weak, and now she had seen them outperform some of the galaxy's most advanced species. Her respect for humans had grown beyond anything she could have imagined. For the first time, Lyra felt something new: hope. If humans could act like this, perhaps they could bring balance to a galaxy often ruled by power and fear. Perhaps they could inspire other species to be better, braver, stronger. As the sun set, casting long shadows across the plaza, Lyra realized that her life and her understanding of humans would never be the same. She had seen courage, creativity, and resilience in action. She had seen humans rise above fear and danger with nothing but their minds and their hearts. And deep inside, she knew that this was only the beginning. Humans had entered the galaxy as diplomats, small and unassuming. But their true strength had revealed itself today. Lyra's doubts were gone. She now believed not just in human warriors, but in the extraordinary potential of an entire species. The battle was over, but the story of humans had only just begun. The morning after the attack, Zalith was a city both scarred and alive. Smoke still rose from broken towers and debris littered the streets, but citizens had begun to rebuild. Alien soldiers moved cautiously, repairing their machines and reinforcing defenses. The plaza, once the center of panic, now buzzed with energy as the survivors took stock of their losses. Lyra hovered above the chaos, her wings catching the soft sunlight. She had spent the night replaying the events in her mind, unable to sleep. Every time she thought of Alex, the human ambassador, her heart skipped a beat. She had doubted humans, ridiculed the idea that they could be warriors, and yet, here he was, proving her wrong in ways she could never have imagined. She had to see him in action again. Her chance came sooner than expected. Scouts reported that a group of the attackers had survived the retreat. They were hiding in an abandoned sector of the city, preparing to strike again. Alien commanders were nervous. Their machines were damaged, their morale shaken. Lyra's wings twitched with worry. If the attackers returned, the city might not survive this time. Alex, however, remained calm. He gathered his team and began inspecting the city map, pointing out weak spots and likely enemy paths. Lyra observed silently, her eyes wide. The humans moved with purpose, every action deliberate, every decision calculated. Unlike most alien soldiers, they did not rely on strength or size. They relied on strategy and adaptability. As the enemy emerged from the shadows, Alex positioned his team at critical points. Lyra noticed how he predicted their moves, anticipating traps and ambushes before the attackers even made them. The humans worked together flawlessly, each one complementing the other's skills. One human would distract an enemy, another would disable a weapon, and a third would secure civilians nearby. Lyra felt her doubts fading completely. She had seen bravery before, yes, but never like this. Alex did not just fight. He commanded the battlefield. He inspired confidence in those around him, making even frightened aliens act with courage. Suddenly, one of the attackers, a massive, four-armed creature with armored plating, charged toward a group of alien soldiers. Their heavy machines struggled to respond quickly enough, and panic spread. Lyra's wings beat faster as she watched, fearing disaster. Then Alex acted. He sprinted forward, weaving through debris with incredible speed. He dodged the creature's powerful swings, moving in a way that seemed almost impossible. With a swift grab, he used the environment against the attacker, knocking it off balance and creating an opening for the alien soldiers to strike. The creature roared in surprise, retreating for a moment, giving the humans a chance to act. Lyra's heart raced. This human was performing feats she had never thought possible. Strength, agility, and intelligence combined in a way she could barely comprehend. And yet Alex never seemed panicked or reckless. Every move had purpose, every decision was precise. As the battle continued, Lyra followed Alex closely. She saw him rescue trapped civilians, guide alien soldiers, and even repair broken defensive devices with simple tools. Each time he acted, he turned a potentially deadly situation into an opportunity. Lyra began to understand what made humans unique. It was not raw power. It was resilience, ingenuity, and courage under pressure. At one point, Alex faced a group of attackers alone. He had intentionally drawn them away to protect the city's civilians. Lyra watched, holding her breath. The attackers lunged, but Alex's speed and thinking made him untouchable. He dodged, blocked, and countered in ways that seemed impossible. Using only his surroundings, he incapacitated each enemy without harming himself. For Lyra, it was a revelation. Aliens relied on technology, on strength, on predictable patterns. Humans, on the other hand, were unpredictable. They could improvise, adapt, and find solutions where none seemed to exist. Their strength came from mind and spirit, not machines. The rest of the humans joined him again, forming a coordinated strike that pushed the remaining attackers back. Lyra noticed how naturally they worked together, anticipating each other's needs without speaking. Their teamwork was seamless, their trust in one another absolute. Even the alien soldiers, initially skeptical, began following Alex's lead, amazed by the humans' skill. During a brief lull in the battle, Lyra hovered near Alex. He was checking his team, making sure everyone was safe. She could see the calm determination in his eyes. He was not boastful or arrogant. He simply understood the danger and knew how to respond. "You are incredible," Lyra said softly, her voice almost lost in the distant sounds of the city. Alex glanced at her, giving a small smile. "We do what we must," he said. "Bravery is not about size or strength. It's about action. Courage isn't a luxury, it's a choice." Lyra nodded slowly, absorbing his words. She had spent her life believing humans were weak, incapable of heroism. Now she realized that courage could not be measured by appearance or technology. It came from the heart and mind, and humans had it in abundance. As the attackers regrouped for one final assault, Alex prepared a strategy. He directed alien soldiers to fortified positions, guided civilians to safer zones, and coordinated his team for the decisive moment. Lyra watched as he analyzed every variable, predicted enemy movements, and adapted instantly when the attackers changed their approach. When the final wave arrived, Alex and his humans moved with perfect synchronization. They outsmarted the attackers at every turn, using the city itself as a weapon, shifting debris, creating traps, and using the enemy's speed against them. Lyra's respect grew with every action. She could not deny it any longer. Humans were true warriors. Finally, the attackers were defeated, retreating once again into the shadows. Zalith was safe, thanks largely to the humans' actions. The alien soldiers, exhausted but inspired, looked at the humans with newfound admiration. Lyra's wings trembled as she reflected on what she had witnessed. Humans had done what no one expected. They had faced impossible odds and emerged victorious. Alex gathered his team and turned to the city's leaders. "The immediate threat is gone," he said, "but we must remain vigilant. There may be more who seek to take advantage of this chaos." Lyra approached him, her wings fluttering nervously. I never believed humans could be warriors," she admitted. "But you, all of you, are extraordinary." Alex nodded, his eyes calm and steady. "Strength is not what most species think it is," he said. "It is not measured in claws or machines. It is measured in courage, creativity, and the willingness to protect others, even when it is difficult or dangerous. Humans have learned to use their minds and hearts together. That is what makes us strong." Lyra felt a deep sense of admiration and wonder. She had doubted humans, dismissed them as weak, and yet here they were proving her wrong in the most extraordinary ways. She realized that their true strength lay not in their appearance or technology, but in their spirit, ingenuity, and teamwork. That evening, as the city began to recover, Lyra reflected on the day's events. She had witnessed heroism, intelligence, and courage on a scale she had never imagined. She had seen humans not just survive but lead, inspire, and turn the tide of battle. Her perception of humanity had shifted completely. For the first time, Lyra felt hope, not just for the humans, but for the galaxy. If humans could act like this, perhaps they could inspire other species to rise above fear and doubt. Perhaps they could change the way civilizations saw each other, showing that courage and intelligence mattered more than size or machines. As the sun set over Zalith, Lyra watched the humans tending to the wounded, repairing defenses and planning for the future. She knew that she had witnessed something extraordinary, something that would stay with her forever. And deep inside, she understood that this was only the beginning. Humans had proven themselves in battle, and their true potential was only starting to reveal itself. Lyra felt a spark of excitement, knowing that the story of human warriors was far from over, and she would be there to witness every step. The galaxy had seen the first glimpse of human strength, and it would never be the same again. Zalith City had begun to breathe again, but the air was tense. Alien commanders gathered in the central command center, a tower of glass and steel that had survived the earlier attack largely intact. Broken communication lines flickered with static, and holographic maps displayed the last known positions of the retreating attackers. Lyra hovered near the balcony, watching the humans move among the aliens with calm efficiency. Alex stood at the center of the room, pointing at the maps and giving clear, concise instructions. His human team spread out, coordinating different defensive positions, guiding alien soldiers, and repairing damaged equipment. Lyra's wings twitched with a mixture of anticipation and awe. She had already seen what humans were capable of in small-scale actions, but now, she could see Alex planning on a city-wide level. "This is it," one alien commander whispered to Lyra. "The final chance to stop them." Lyra nodded, but she was no longer fearful. The humans had changed her perspective. Alex did not panic, did not rely on luck. He relied on strategy, intelligence, and calm decision-making. Lyra realized that humans were not just reactive. They were proactive. They could see possibilities others could not. As the alarm rang throughout the city, the surviving attackers emerged from their hidden positions. They were stronger and more organized than before, seeking revenge. Energy blasts lit up the sky, sending sparks and debris everywhere. Alien soldiers hesitated, unsure of how to respond without guidance. Lyra's eyes scanned the battlefield, and she knew it was up to the humans to turn the tide once again. Alex moved swiftly, positioning his team at critical points. "Remember," he said, "we work together. We adapt. We protect the city and its people. Watch each other's backs." The humans dispersed with precision. One went to secure civilians trapped near a collapsing structure. Another used quick thinking to disable enemy weapons by rerouting their power sources. Lyra followed Alex as he moved like a force of nature through the chaos. He didn't just fight. He coordinated, inspired, and created opportunities for others to act. A group of alien soldiers hesitated at a corner, unsure whether to advance. Alex approached, speaking in a calm but firm tone. "Step forward," he said. "Trust yourself. Trust each other. You have the skill. You just need direction." The soldiers nodded, encouraged by the humans' confidence. They moved with renewed determination, following Alex's guidance to flank the attackers. Lyra watched as the humans' influence spread through the battlefield. Their courage was contagious, their intelligence invaluable. Then the most dangerous enemy appeared, a massive armored alien, far larger and faster than any soldier in the city. It barreled through streets, crushing debris and sending smaller attackers scattering. Alien soldiers fired their weapons, but the attacks barely slowed it. Panic threatened to rise again. Alex stepped forward alone. Lyra's wings beat rapidly as she watched him face the enormous creature. He was smaller, weaker in appearance, but he moved with unmatched speed and calculation. He dodged the alien's massive swings, analyzing its patterns, looking for weaknesses. Lyra's heart pounded. Using his environment, Alex created distractions and traps. He shifted debris to block the creature's path, rerouted energy beams to confuse it, and used clever maneuvers to force it into a corner. Each action required split-second timing, but Alex executed them flawlessly. The alien roared in frustration, struggling against a human who should have been no match for it. Lyra was amazed. She had thought humans could inspire others, but she had never seen one dominate a battlefield in such a way. Strength did not come from size or armor. It came from intelligence, adaptability, and courage. Alex embodied all three. Meanwhile, his team acted in perfect harmony. One human provided cover by disabling smaller attackers. Another rescued trapped civilians. They were not just a group. They were a single, cohesive unit, anticipating each other's actions and amplifying each other's abilities. Alien soldiers, inspired by the humans, now joined more actively in the counterattack. With Alex directing, they used their technology effectively, setting up ambushes and blocking enemy escape routes. The attackers, confused and disoriented, began to falter. Lyra realized that this human had not only fought bravely, he had changed the course of the battle entirely. In the heart of the conflict, Alex faced a critical moment. A secondary attack threatened to trap the civilians and cut off the city's defenses. Without hesitation, he split his attention, directing one team to intercept the new threat while personally moving to protect the civilians. His decisions were fast, precise, and effective. Every action minimized risk while maximizing impact. Lyra couldn't help but feel a sense of pride, not for her own species, but for the humans she had once doubted. They were not reckless. They were not lucky. They were warriors, calm, intelligent, and fearless in the face of danger. As the final wave of attackers approached, Alex's plan reached its climax. He had predicted their movements, anticipated their strategies, and prepared a coordinated strike. The humans and aliens worked together seamlessly, executing the plan with precision. Lyra watched in awe as attackers were neutralized, civilians secured, and the city's defenses reinforced simultaneously. The massive armored alien that Alex had faced earlier was finally subdued. Using a combination of traps, environment, and teamwork, Alex and his team incapacitated it without unnecessary harm. Lyra realized that humans valued life even in battle, and that their strength came not just from winning, but from protecting others along the way. When the last attackers retreated, silence fell over the city. Smoke drifted through the streets, broken machinery lay scattered, and the city's inhabitants began to emerge cautiously from their hiding places. Lyra hovered above, exhausted but exhilarated. She had witnessed something extraordinary. Humans had not only fought, they had led, inspired, and reshaped the battlefield through strategy and courage alone. Alex turned to address the alien commanders. "The immediate threat is gone," he said, "but we must remain vigilant. The galaxy is vast and danger is never far. We protect, we adapt, and we learn. That is how we survive and thrive." Lyra felt a deep sense of respect and admiration. The humans had proven that strength was more than size or technology. It was courage, ingenuity, and unity. She had doubted them once, but now she could not. Humans were warriors, not in the way aliens measured power, but in a way that was far more profound. As the sun set, painting the city in golden light, Lyra reflected on what she had seen. She realized that humans could not only fight, they could lead, inspire, and change the course of events through determination and intelligence. The galaxy had underestimated them, and it would pay for that mistake. For Lyra, the day marked a turning point. She had witnessed heroism, strategy, and courage on a scale she had never imagined. Humans were no longer just diplomats or myths. They were warriors in every sense of the word, capable of feats that could inspire entire civilizations. She looked at Alex, his team, and the alien soldiers who now worked together in harmony. A thought formed in her mind, strong and clear. Humans were not just part of the galaxy, they could shape its future. And deep inside, Lyra knew that the story of human warriors was far from over. They had shown their strength, and now the galaxy would see what humans could do when faced with even greater challenges. This was the beginning of a new era, a time when courage, intelligence, and unity would redefine what it meant to be strong, and at the center of it all stood Alex and his team, human warriors who had proven without a doubt that they could face the impossible and emerge victorious. The city of Zalith was quiet now. Broken glass had been cleared, smoke had faded, and alien citizens walked through streets once filled with panic. The city had survived, not because of its advanced machines, but because of humans, the small group of human warriors who had turned the tide of battle. Lyra floated above the central plaza, her wings catching the soft morning sunlight. Her heart still raced from the events of the past days. She had doubted humans, laughed at the idea of them as warriors, and even believed her species' stories that humans were weak. Now she could not deny the truth. Humans were extraordinary, capable of courage, strategy, and leadership beyond anything she had witnessed. The alien leaders gathered in the plaza for a formal recognition ceremony. They had survived the attacks thanks largely to the humans' efforts, and now they wanted to honor them. Citizens lined the streets, curious and respectful, waiting to see the humans who had saved their city. Alex and his team arrived, walking calmly but confidently. There were no flashy displays, no boastful gestures. They simply stood, ready to receive recognition for their deeds. Lyra observed them with awe. Even after everything, the humans remained humble, focused not on praise but on the safety and recovery of the city. The highest-ranking Zalithian commander stepped forward. His voice echoed across the plaza. "We have witnessed courage, skill, and intelligence beyond imagination. These humans have proven themselves not only capable but extraordinary. They faced impossible odds and saved our city when all else seemed lost." Lyra felt a swell of pride in her chest, not for her own species, but for the humans she had come to admire. She watched as the commander presented Alex with a ceremonial medal, a symbol of honor and gratitude from an entire civilization. Alex accepted it quietly, nodding to the commander and then turning to his team. "You earned this together," he said. "Not just for me, but for all of us." Lyra realized something important in that moment. Humans were not only strong individually, but also incredibly powerful as a team. They worked together, inspired others, and used their minds and hearts as much as their physical abilities. That was their true strength. The commander continued, addressing the crowd. "Let this be a lesson for all species. Strength is not measured by size, technology, or weapons alone. Courage, intelligence, unity, and determination are just as vital. The humans here have shown us this truth." Lyra hovered closer to Alex, her wings trembling slightly. I doubted you once," she admitted softly. "I thought humans were weak. But now I see. You are everything I was told you could never be." Alex looked at her, his eyes calm and kind. "Doubt is natural," he said. "It is how we grow and learn. You have seen what humans can do. That is all we ask." The crowd cheered not just for Alex and his team, but for what they represented: hope, courage, and the ability to overcome impossible odds. Alien soldiers who had once been skeptical now approached the humans to shake their hands, offer thanks, and show respect. Lyra felt a warmth in her heart. She had witnessed history, and she had been part of it. After the ceremony, Alex and his team helped coordinate the city's recovery. They directed alien engineers to repair buildings, guided citizens in rebuilding efforts, and even helped train some of the younger soldiers in tactics and teamwork. Lyra followed them closely, learning from their every move. She realized that humans did not seek glory. They sought to make things better, to protect and inspire others. That was a kind of strength she had never fully understood until now. As the sun set, casting long shadows across the city, Lyra reflected on everything that had happened. She had come to Zalith believing one thing, that humans were weak. She had been wrong. Humans were not only warriors, they were leaders, thinkers, and protectors. Their strength came from their hearts, their minds, and their ability to unite with others in the face of danger. Lyra's thoughts drifted to the stars. Humans had traveled far from their home world, unknown and underestimated, Yet they had proven themselves capable of greatness. If humans could do this on Zalith, what might they accomplish elsewhere in the galaxy? What legends could they create? Alex approached her quietly. "It is remarkable," he said softly, "how often people underestimate others. But when you give them a chance, when you trust them, they can do extraordinary things." Lyra nodded. "You have taught me that humans are not just capable. They are legendary." Alex smiled. "Then perhaps the galaxy will learn that lesson too." The night sky was filled with stars shining like tiny beacons of hope. Lyra felt a sense of excitement and anticipation. Humans had arrived on Zalith quietly, but their actions had left a lasting impression. They had changed the city, inspired its people, and redefined what strength truly meant. In the coming days, Lyra wrote her report for the Elders. She carefully documented every action of the human warriors, their courage, strategy, teamwork, and ingenuity. She detailed how they had faced impossible odds, protected the city, and inspired a skeptical species to believe in them. Her words were full of respect and admiration, a testimony to the humans' extraordinary abilities. She titled her report, "She Didn't Believe in Human Warriors Until One Appeared Before Her Eyes." For Lyra, the report was more than a record of events, it was a declaration of truth. Humans were capable of greatness, and their legend would only grow as they continued to explore the galaxy, face challenges, and inspire others. Alex and his team prepared to leave Zalith for their next mission. Citizens waved, cheering their names, and Lyra felt a pang of sadness mixed with hope. She had grown attached to these humans, these warriors who had changed her perception of an entire species. Before departing, Alex approached Lyra one last time. "Remember this," he said. "Strength comes in many forms. Courage, intelligence, teamwork, and the will to act. These are the true marks of a warrior. Never underestimate anyone and always give a chance for greatness to show itself." Lyra watched as Alex and his team boarded their ship. She felt a deep sense of gratitude and admiration. Humans had proven themselves beyond any doubt. They had shown the galaxy a new definition of strength, one that relied not on machines or size, but on heart, mind, and spirit. As the ship lifted into the sky, disappearing among the stars, Lyra felt inspired. She knew that humans would continue to achieve great things, and that their legend would spread far beyond Zalith. She also knew that her own life had changed. She had seen courage, ingenuity, and teamwork in action, and she would never doubt humans again. Standing in the central plaza, Lyra looked at the horizon. The city was safe, its people inspired, and the galaxy had witnessed the rise of human warriors. She smiled softly, feeling a sense of hope for the future. Humans were no longer myths. They were heroes, leaders, and legends. And somewhere beyond the stars, their story was only beginning.